Well, this is Turn 3 on the front stretch, presented by Joe's Karting in Council Bluffs, located on 23rd Avenue in AMC Theaters. Located right next to AMC Theaters. You can also find them online at joeskarting.com. That's karting with a K. Get over to Joe's today, get some fast-paced white-knuckle racing in, where the only speed restriction is how fast you are. We're excited to be joined today by the crowd pleaser himself, Craig Dollansky, a World of Outlaw driver. Craig, thanks so much for joining us this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on today.
Well, we wanted to start out by just kind of getting to it. In 2008, you actually won the heat feature at Eagle Raceway, the heat and the feature at Eagle Raceway for the World of Outlaws. Talk about, if you can remember that high bank racetrack there at Eagle, and talk about that victory.
Well, I tell you what, that was a great win for us in 2008. It's Eagle Raceway. It's definitely a great racetrack. It's the configuration of it, is one where it produces some real good racing, especially when you get that track prepared properly. And I think hopefully the people that are working on it there will know what they're doing. And SLS works pretty hard at making sure we got good racetracks to race on. And to win that race that night, it was a pretty awesome win. We were coming off a win the night before in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So it was a couple wins in a row for us, and definitely looking forward to coming back to Eagle Raceway with our big game tree stand team, Aggressive Hydraulics, Mobile Star, everybody that supports us. Everybody's excited to come to that event.
Was that your first time at Eagle, or had you raced there previously?
No, we had run there before. It seems like every once in a while there's a year to get skipped, or maybe 2 years. But there's a lot of great fans down in that area that we enjoy coming and seeing, and it's a good stop on a tour for us to have Eagle back on the schedule.
Mr. Dollansky, this is Buddy Ray here on Omaha's ESPN 590 AM. As we have just mentioned, you are known as a crowd pleaser. Can you talk about your driving style that procured that nickname for you?
Well, that was a nickname really that Johnny Gibson tagged me with a number of years back, and they probably would say I got a little more of an aggressive type driving style, and at the end of the day, this is a performance-driven business, and when I get in a race car, I try to get everything I got, every time we're on a racetrack. So, it was a nickname they tagged me with quite some time ago, but I enjoy what I do. We got a great team here. I got a great group of guys here with me. My crew chief DJ Luke, and anytime you win or anytime you're hitting a racetrack, it's always a team effort. So, last year we led the series of wins from July on, and ended up tied with Jason Myers, who won the championship with the most amount of wins, along with Steve Kinzer. And I feel great about our team this year. We got a couple wins down there in Florida, and we haven't got ourselves in victory lane here lately. We been rained out a fair amount, so we're hoping that Mother Nature cooperates there for that race at Eagle. And again, it's a track that I enjoy coming to and racing at.
Well, I know in 2008 when I was watching you win that feature out there, I can see exactly why they do call you the crowd pleaser. The crowd was just going wild. Kind of reminded me of that Mark Wills song, and the crowd goes wild. You were putting on a hell of a show, and you're willing that car, and it was a privilege to watch you to run the high banks there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And, Eagle, it can be a demanding racetrack. I remember that night it really had a couple crews you could work, and we were definitely lapping a lot of cars as we were progressing through the feature event. But man, I sure would love nothing more than to come back in there and get a win. We got new partners on board with us, Mobile Star. That there's going to be some people there from Mobile Star out of South Dakota. There, Rick and Mike. They're great guys to work with, along with Aggressive Hydraulics, and then in big game tree stands. We got a great team here, and we try to work hard at what we do, and love nothing more to try to land back in victory lane there at Eagle.
Hey, Craig, Andrew Koziski here. Coming off a great season with 9 wins, 29 top 5s, and 46 top 10s, finishing 5th in last year's points. Tell us how last year's success, and with these new sponsors you have and everything, 5th place, a lot of people think, there's 4 people that beat you, but honestly, it takes one night to put you from 2nd to 5th. As a driver, I know that feeling, how close you really were. Do you think this season you could pick up a championship, or how's it going right now? I know we've had rainouts. It's really hard to decide the first couple races of the season, but, have you picked something up? Do you think you found that edge late in the season?
Yeah, we learned some things last year, and really we had some DNFs from mechanical failures that took us out of the hunt there in the championship chase. It wasn't because we can't win races and run strong every night. We just we got to clean up our DNFs. It's plain and simple, and we've had a couple of them this year that again has plagued us some. So we're really trying to focus on keeping our team strong all the way through, and that comes from preparation to our race cars and our motor program, and learning from the things that plagued us last year. And me trying to do a better job behind the wheel and getting my job done, as well as my team and my motor builder and everybody that it takes to make these cars go. We know we got a team capable of winning a championship, but you got to put it all together, and consistency is a big part of that, and that's what we're trying to focus on here right now is consistency along with winning races.
We're talking this morning with Craig Dollansky, the crowd pleaser, World of Outlaw driver here on the front stretch on AM 590. You made some changes in the offseason. Actually, the change you made was that you picked up your former crew chief, DJ Lindsay. Talk about, has there been any kind of a relearning process, or have you guys able to hit the ground running and really take off this season?
Well, we were together last year, too. We started the year prior right at the end of that year, and, right out of the box there, we won a race, and in 2008, I was racing with a different team and a different crew, and we won 8 races that season. And last year we won 9. So, me and DJ, we go way back, and beyond him being my crew chief, I mean, we're great friends, and I love racing with him, and he pours his heart and soul into this thing every night. So, I couldn't be happier with what I have with him, and along with my son Lucas, who works with him, and we got another guy with us this year, Pete. He's doing a great job, but. Again, as we continue to work together and build that chemistry, along with making sure things are staying strong as far as our motors and our race cars, our shock program. We got great manufacturers, and Brian Morrison building our motors out of Pennsylvania, and Maxim race cars. I feel great about our components. I feel great about their personnel, and again, we just got to clean some of the stuff up that plagued us last year. Little things here and there that it takes to win a championship. So. Again, DJ, I couldn't be happier racing with him. He's here right now, and we're at our shop preparing. It's always a work in progress, but got a great team assembled here.
Craig, I see that you have taken on more of an owner role with Craig Dollansky Racing. How have you balanced being an owner while still being able to drive?
Well, I can tell you that's probably my biggest challenge. It's it's difficult for sure. It just takes a lot to get these teams up and down the road, and we just spent 5 weeks out on the West Coast, and I think we rained out 4 races out there. So, it really hurts, from the revenue side of things. We don't get paid unless we get out there and get racing. So, to lose them events, it takes a toll on you. But, it's a work in progress, and there's going to probably be some things that change structure-wise as things progress here this season as far as ownership goes. It's demanding, no doubt about it. My wife, Julie, does a great job. She works hard. She's a big part of it as well, trying to keep things rolling with not only our apparel, but the ownership of this team, and then there's other behind the scenes people like Paul and Jen Johnson, who help us out with a lot of different things here and handle like our Facebook page, and we got Reed, our PR guy, that does our website, and there's a lot of people behind the scenes that make it all go, and being an owner, it's challenging. On some days it has its perks and rewards, but on most days it adds more stress than anything.
Hey, Craig. I saw you won at I-55 Raceway. I want to tell a quick story real quick. I got that PS2 game that you're actually on, and I've actually raced you at I-55 Raceway down there, and I think it's pretty cool to be talking to you right now and notice that you've won that race. But what is like your favorite win or your most memorable win that you've ever had before?
Well, I would say the one there last year, the Ironman 55, probably would rank right up there. We've had some great wins along the way. I haven't won the Knoxville Nationals, been close, and been close with the Kings Royal, but to win that Ironman 55, it's definitely the most grueling race in the schedule. That particular race last year in August, right before the Nationals, it was probably as hot and humid as it gets, and I just remember, getting out of the race car, and I mean, I was just done, just spent, and I couldn't even hold the trophy up. My brother was on our team last year, and he had to hold the trophy up, and I was just, I think 2 hours after the race, I still was just running with sweat running off me, but. It was a great win, but they're all hard to come by. It doesn't matter if they're, what race they are. I mean, when you're racing with the World of Outlaws, it's just the best there is in the business, and to win that race there, probably rank right up there.
Well, great. Craig, Andrew just mentioned it. You're on a PS2 game. What's that like? That you are on a video game. Have you or your son ever played as you?
Yeah. My sons mostly, or even my daughter. They play that game quite a bit. I played a son, but I can tell you I'm better off keeping myself focused and racing on the racetrack. I'm pretty good at that video game stuff. They definitely beat me up pretty good.
And we've just mentioned it. You mentioned your son too, Lucas, correct?
Yeah, I have 2 sons, Luke and Garrett. Yeah.
And Luke's racing right now, isn't he?
No, actually, Luke is one of our key guys on my team here right now, and he was a big part of our success last year. And he's hanging with us again another season here, but has aspirations to get out there and do some racing himself. He's done some, and I'd love nothing more than to get him going out there and get him going with a team. And then my other son Garrett, who probably will get an opportunity to run some races this year. But it's challenging, as demanding as our schedule can be, and just logistics and putting the pieces of the puzzle together to get them out there racing. But they have the aspirations, the desire, and they're chomping at the bit all the time. Along with, I got a daughter, Peyton. She's right there with them. I got I don't know why, guys, but they're all pretty competitive, and anything with a motor, man, they're like ready to go. So
you don't suppose they get that from their dad, do you?
I don't know, but I'm telling you what, we do some snowmobiling in the wintertime, and I get my daughter going out there as well as my sons, and I got to tell her, hey, look, you don't have to keep up here, but she's right there with us. So it's a lot of fun. We enjoy it, and I've definitely have some competitive kids.
Craig, as these kids, and the fact, with your 3 kids, as these kids are sitting in the stands at Eagle Raceway or I-55 or wherever you may be running that weekend, for some of these that want to be up-and-coming sprint car drivers, what kind of advice can you give to these youngsters coming into the sprint cars?
Well, just that, there's going to be some bumps along the way, and you really got to be willing to sacrifice, time away from, your friends or, your family events. It's going to, take time away from a lot of things you may be used to doing that if it's truly what you want to do, you're really going to have to work hard at it. For me, I remember just, sleeping in the trailer, just doing what you had to do just to make it work. And it's always, no matter what you're doing in life, what you're working towards, it doesn't come without a lot of hard work and effort. And, most important thing to them to understand is it no matter who they are, no matter who their dad is, they're going to have to work hard at it. It's just nothing comes easy.
Well, Craig, we really do appreciate you joining us this morning on the Front Stretch on AM 590 Omaha's ESPN Radio. Make sure, fans out there listening, you get your tickets today at Eagle Raceway to watch that number 7 of Craig dance around the track. And I know you got the support of the Front Stretch boys here pushing for you to get yourself another win at Eagle.
Hey, I appreciate that, guys. And like you say, the fans that come out, hopefully the weather's great, and definitely see some great racing there at Eagle Raceway.
Well, we've had some storms the last couple of weeks, but I'm praying that we've got them all out of our system, and we're going to have some beautiful weather so we can watch you guys sling some mud.
Awesome, man. We'll be looking forward to it.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
That was Craig Dollansky of World of Outlaw Drivers, the crowd pleaser himself. Make sure you pick up your tickets today, Eagle Raceway. They are also available at the door. $35 for adults. Kids 12 and under can get in for just $15. You can also get a special this week if you head to any participating Napa store. You can get $5 off your tickets. So that's a worthy trip to a Napa store. Pick up some tickets and go see Craig and all the guys of World of Outlaws race at Eagle Raceway this weekend. Coming up Friday night, they're going to be racing. Gates at 5:30. Racing starts at 7. I know you're going to be down there on Friday night, right? I'm
going to be there on Friday night. The one thing with these World of Outlaw drivers, you've really got to respect what they do. They're driving 900 horsepower and praying to God at the same time. We're talking 1,200-pound cars, 900 horsepower. This is something really, really neat to see to watch these guys run around the high banks.
I tell you what, I've seen them race once, even though my uncle used to race when I was a little kid. I don't remember a lot about it. I remember burning my arm on his muffler. But I watched it at I-80 Speedway a couple weeks ago, and the best way I can describe it is they're lunatics. To sit in that small of a car, that much horsepower, and go that fast, and there was about 30 of them on the track that last feature, and they're lunatics.
I wouldn't be scared to drive one. I'm morbidly, psychologically scared of that drive shaft going right between my legs. I'm just thinking I'm going to get, castrated at 9,000 RPM. That's going to be something interesting.
I get scared driving the go-karts at Joe's Karting, so that doesn't really say anything about me.
I get scared when I race against you at Joe's Karting.
That's a legitimate being afraid of.
At least Andrew can give me some competition, even though he still gets slapped.
I give you competition. I just put you into the wall most times.
Well, yeah, then you threw the toothpick at me.
You had it coming.
No, I didn't.
You did too. How dare you pass me? Make sure you head over to Eagle Raceway and pick up your tickets. Get out there Friday night. Like I said, gates at 5:30. Racing starts at 7 o'clock. It's going to be a full night of action-packed racing with Craig himself being down there and racing. As like I said, we're going to be pulling for Craig on Friday night. I'll be there. Bud will be there. Andrew, you be racing that night, or are you going to be able to be out there?
I'm going to do my best to actually get out there if I don't have to work on the car because I got to race of course, the next night. But I'm going to do my best to get out there because I really love the World of Outlaws on a short track like that. It's a pretty good race to watch.
It's going to be awesome. This is the Front Stretch presented by Joe's Karting on AM 590, Omaha's ESPN Radio.